So, in order to understand the capabilities of AI in creating a strategy, there are a lot of definitions that we have to give
Oh yeah.
AI. So, we're doing a lot of the strategy just by the mere fact that we're talking about the strategy, just by the mere fact that we're mentioning, here's what we want. But let's ignore that fact for a minute because working with you on strategy has changed my understanding of strategy. I mean, even like a weight email, you've already split into numerous emails. So, um, what is the information that we have to feed Chat GPT, do you think, in order for us to be able to share, like to get what we want?
First of all, target audience, right? We know that the people, um, yes,
I'm gonna keep talking. I'm typing
yeah,
while you're right
okay.
there.
People who are on the cusp of being burnt out from doing unpaid tasks, admin tasks that they don't even like. They have that success story, that growth, sudden growth, where they're being swamped with either referrals or businesses picking up through social media or through their email list, and they kind of don't know what to do with it. And then what happens is they are working on basically putting down fires wherever they go, jumping on calls with unqualified prospects, not following up by email, having to come up with proposals that are custom made or semi custom made um, for each and every client. Um, their CRM is not working properly. Their Calendly or similar platforms are not really working well enough with other things or other programs or processes or tools that they have in place. So it's all very overwhelming. It's a lot of unpaid work, and they would like to get rid of that part. They are also aware of the fact that they can either hire someone to do it for them, which is basically hiring you, Irit, or they can do it themselves, but they need the accountability, they need the knowledge, and they need, yeah, something to keep them on track. Would you add anything else?
Uh, First of all, I'd just like to say that you've done half the strategy here by defining the target audience just as whatever. But now we also have to define the product for ChatGPT.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we'd like to do a launch strategy for X. The target audience is Y, and like the three things we have to define, and the media options we have are LinkedIn, and an email list of about 600 people, a website, um, and then what we need, we'll go back to defining the product in a minute, okay? Um, you need social media posts, an email strategy, a landing page slash sales page, um, to spend, it's not here, to spend over a week and a half,
Mhm.
right? Plus a landing page, sales page.
Do we actually want to make GPT's life easier by giving it the sales page?
question. Well, if we're asking it for a strategy, I want to hear its
Mhm.
strategy. So is the
But
sales page a part of the strategy or is the sales page what we've done? So again, I'm using ChatGPT. I'm not just defining the product, I'm defining the target audience. I'm telling it what I have, basically. There's a lot
mhm.
of strategy even in this prompt. So I'd like to just point out that it's not like, okay, I'm selling a course on the sales pipeline of sale later. That's a different, you know what? Let's do that at the end. Let's write
Okay.
this and then let's do another one that says, here's the sales page of a product that I'm selling. Write me an email strategy around
But I kind of want to give it everything that we have, like everything that is on the front end, everything that is visible, and then say, here's everything that we have. Come up with a
it.
strategy that is suitable for everything that we have.
Okay, okay, I'm with you. So wait. So let's go back for a second to define what the product is. We'd like to write a launch strategy for a group program up to 10 participants per cohort. For systematizing, and that's spelled wrong. Meaning, I put an extra E, I think, in there. Oh, it's an A, it should be an A. Okay.
Oh, wow.
And automating the sales pipeline process for small to medium businesses. The content of the sales page is, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is actually the weight. This is going to take us to the weight page because the other one's in draft. Like you can't now they're just a join, but uh let's
Oh, we
see
can
if I
just give
can.
it the URL, no?
Can I? Oh, that's a good idea. Didn't think about that. The content of the sales page can be found here. There we go. It can scan it on its own.
Oh, yeah.
Um, program is by application only. I don't think because that's at the moment that's not. I don't know. Let's put that up
Okay.
here. I don't know if that's going to change. It's whatever. Um,
So we have the target audience, we have the product. Um, what if we told it what we cannot have?
what do you mean by cannot have? What can't we have?
Um, so for example, when I onboarded you, I asked you, are those any kinds of things that you would not mention in emails, or are there any things, is there anything that I cannot use? And you said profanities, for example.
Okay. Basically, plain, no false scarcity,
For example.
use ethical marketing tactics only. That's like whatever. And please describe any images you will use. Make sure they are modest. Okay? Like, if, ready?
Okay.
Anything
Okay.
else?
Not that I can think of at the moment.
Okay. Three, two, one.
Okay.
Are you drowning in Edmonton, Australia? Stay tuned for the
Where's day
sales.
2?
I don't know. Day two doesn't exist. Day three.
Oh God. Okay.
building curiosity. Now I'd have to go back and say, okay, please write this email, please write this post, please, like, this is just like the strategy, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why are there only uneven days?
Whoa, that is weird.
Email to subscriber, send an email with the same testimonial. Basically, it's saying do this on social, do the same thing on email, do this on social, do the same on. But if there's an overlap, they're going to be bored.
I mean, I don't think necessarily there's a problem with overlap because not everyone is seeing
Both.
everything, and
Right.
then also repetition is very important. I don't understand the oh, that's so weird.
It's doing a post or an email every other day.
Every other day. That's an interesting strategy. Okay, last chance email. Okay, let's go over the emails. Final reminders about vacation deadline, emphasizing a limited time to join the program.
I'm gonna
Okay,
pause
I
sharing
already
for.
I
Yeah, go ahead.
already hate seeing the caption of the social media post of this is it, your last chance already unethical to conquer admin tasks and supercharge your
And
sales pipeline.
supercharge.
One of the words that I would probably never ever use ever in anything for any of my
Ever,
clients.
ever
Who talks
supercharge.
like this? Who talks like this?
So, so let's talk a little bit about. There's one thing we didn't do that we should have done, which is what other questions do you need to know in order to give you the best strategy? Because one of the things that they didn't do here, that ChatGPT didn't do here, other than what you just said that it did do, and it did it really badly, is the whole segment. We had a huge segment. We did a workshop. So let's talk a little bit about what we did do for, like, because this is really interesting, but it's not really a strategy. It's basing it off of what I have. We added a workshop. I wanted it to tell me, like, for a launch like this, you may want to consider doing a workshop or a webinar or whatever. We did a workshop. Can I just share with you what the launch strategy looks like? Just the launch sequence in Active Campaign.
Let's do that. That's going to be
So,
fun. We need to zoom out quite a bit.
Yeah, you have to zoom out. This is the launch. Oh, no, there's all of them. I don't know why this is like, since when do they have this here? Oh, this is an AI builder. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that would
yeah.
be interesting in itself.
This is the sequence, okay? Every email had like nudge emails going. This is how the sequence was. This was not a simple sequence. And this is one of 3 sequences that we had for this launch. Okay, this is just the launch sequence itself. So this is a strategy. This is the first email, but then if somebody clicks that they're interested, but they haven't seen it or they've seen it within a certain number of hours, send them another nudge email saying, hey, I saw that you noted that you looked into it. What's holding you back? Let me know. And then if they don't answer, okay, let's push them back. And so they get the next one. Like there's a whole slew of sequences of emails that is like this side, just the left side. This is email 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We sent 9 emails. It offered to send 6. Just so there's a difference. And that's just the basic 9. The
And
people that were
let's
Go
not
ahead.
forget that the nudge emails, as in the emails that people who clicked and showed interest are getting, are not the same emails, and they're not emails of your what you would see in the wild, you know, the abandoned cart or abandoned browse of, oh, did you forget something in your cart? That's not the case. It was basically like a parallel sales sequence in itself that, you
These
know,
were,
we
yeah, look,
can.
there's tons of content in each one of these, and it's different. Each one of these is a little bit different. So there's a lot going on here. Um, and that's just the launch sequence. We segmented the audiences before they got in here. So it depended on where you came from. there was a freebie that we gave out that was relevant to this, which is the tools that were relevant for the sales pipeline. And so if you came in through there, you got a different email sequence because you had already gotten some of the content that was part of the course. Very little, but you got part of it. And so then we expanded on that and you got a completely different sales sequence. We did a workshop on CRMs, which is like the first tier of the course. And we had 50 something people sign up to that workshop. And the workshop was advertised very little in the email, more so on social media. And so we had like 53 people sign up. I think there were 15 on the call itself. I didn't really notice, but I think there were about anywhere between 10 to 15 on the call, plus another 32 or 33 watched the replay. So most of the people that signed up did watch it at one point or another. And then those filtered down into here. Plus, we had from the newsletter, from the monthly newsletter itself, based on how people self-segmented, some of them were pushed into here as well. So not all 600 people on my list got this sequence or any sequence for that matter, because if they're not interested in, if they're not the target audience for this, they did not get it, which that's ethical marketing 101 right there, like in my mind. I could send it out to 600 people and say, okay, let's throw it and see what sticks to the wall, but I'm not sending you the content that you actually want to see. That's the content that you signed up for.
And what we did for people who didn't self-segment, or people who basically self-segmented in a way that's told us, or indicated that they might not be, the perfect target audience for this. What we did was basically send them a couple of emails that, they usually just get an email on Monday, and basically they got an email, I think on Tuesday, and another one on Thursday, to tell them, hey, in case you missed it, here's what we're doing. This would be a good fit for you if 1, 2, 3, 4. If you do want to get into the sales sequence, see what it's all about, click here. So basically we made it very, very easy for them to engage with us. So all it took is a click. And then they would have been pushed into this sales sequence, depends on when exactly they clicked on the link in the emails that we sent them.
Exactly. And that's these orange things. That's the goals, right? So anybody that got to somewhere on a different date was pushed into the sequence at a different date. And when we say sales strategy, I don't think AI has the capability. Definitely, if we would have given it a more elaborate prompt. But once again, we had to think a lot about even this prompt. And now I have to go in and say, okay, please write this social media post, please write this email. And I can tell it I have segments of DIY and DW. Like, just explaining to it what I have means I have to think about strategy. So is AI replacing people like you, Yuval, like email strategists? Not in the near future. I don't think so. I heard a really interesting discussion. Alex B. Sheridan has a podcast about AI versus humans, and somebody named Tim something. I can't remember his last name. I think it's something with an F. He talked about there would be trainers, maintainers, and explainers in the future. Those would be the different roles. So trainers is that first step that we just did. That's writing this prompt, how to write the prompt for AI so that it knows to give you what it needs. Maintainers are the people that are sort of like doing the tweaking and making sure that it's running properly and giving you the output that you want. And say, okay, now rewrite this one. And that the trainers are the ones that initially programmed it, the maintainers are the ones that are sort of like tweaking it daily, but then the explainers are the ones that are taking it one step further and say, okay, how can we make this grow and where can we take it? And that really spoke to me, because when we use AI, we have to understand any program is only going to be as smart as the person programming it. Now, there's machine learning. I'm not saying there's not. And if I were to have input my strategy into ChatGPT and said, okay, tell me how I can make this better, the next person who's going to ask for a strategy will have that benefit. How many people are actually doing it? Right? And then you also have to go in and put in the results. Like there's a process to doing machine learning, and I don't know that people are actually feeding it all the information that it needs. So is AI going to be as smart as a human? Not in my lifetime. I don't think so.
Not unless, we give it endless prompts and tweak it and then waste a whole lot of time on just making sure that it gets to where we want, which is basically, well, we're doing things backwards, right? We're reverse engineering what we have already. But people who are getting to GPT and similar tools, they need the answer. They need the way to that answer. And they don't have the answer. So even getting to the point of giving it endless prompts that would take you minutes, hours, days, even just to think of, okay, where do I want to go to? Where do I want to get? And then again, you might as well just consult a human who's doing that for a living. I came up with the strategy in less than a day, just the not the emails themselves, but the strategy itself. It's not something that, it's not the first email strategy that I've ever come up with. And it's something that I've done multiple times. So it's not like I reinvented the wheel for myself. But when it comes to ChatGPT, I don't see it doing what we have done anytime soon. And I'd be very curious, actually, I haven't tried it yet, but I'd be very curious to give Active Campaign some prompts in their AI builder and see what their strategy or how they can map out a strategy explained in prompts. I have very little faith that it would actually work out.
So that's so interesting. Hold on, Haley's here. Haley's joining us. Just give her a short update on what we're doing. Hi,
Hello.
Haley. So
No.
quick update before we start talking about chat, because we're recording here.
Oh, hello.
Yuval and I are doing an experiment. We did an experiment. We gave ChatGPT a summary of what the Sales Pipeline Accelerator program is, who the target audience is. We asked it for social media posts and an email strategy over a week and a half. We were very disappointed in what we got, to say the least. And we compared it to the strategy, part of the strategy that we had.
I don't want to see that ever again in my life. No, I'm joking. Obviously, I had a ball, and I mean that. I loved it.
So one of the things that I think one of the conclusions that we're reaching is ChatGPT is only going to be as smart as what you feed it. So Yuval, imagine if you had now gone, you as an email strategist, had now written up a summary of your strategy, fed it into ChatGPT with the outcomes, and asked for it to improve. And I mean the entire strategy. This is the flow chart. These are the emails. This is, these are the rates. This is like feeding it all of this information. It's feeding it data, which we found is easy because you can just put the link. And then said to it, okay, write a better one, improve on this. Now I want something similar for XYZ. ChatGPT is not going to replace you. It's going to be able to emulate what you've already done, replicate it in one way or another, give you tips maybe on how to improve, but it needs so much data like that in order to actually know what works and what doesn't.
Yeah, and so much human and sales psychology as well, because obviously ChatGPT knows a thing or two about a thing or two, but can't really, really replicate the human process of making a decision. Maybe very, technically, yes, but emotionally, I am not convinced.
It's got no feels. It's got no feels.
Yeah, it's got no feels. I think, yeah, so Haley, just to show you, this is seriously like it gave us an email a day, an email every other day for 11 days. Announcement teaser, program introduction, client testimonials. Plus, it's not giving us the content itself. We have to then ask and prompt it to write everything. So
And also,
Can
let me
we-
just tell you, like testimonial or on day 5, that's in my books, right? Too little, too late.
Yeah. Yeah. People buy from people and they buy based off of recommendations of other people. They want social proof. And social proof is built up on not those 1,500 people went through this program and yes, that's important. But if you have someone like Haley saying, hey, I did this program, I saved a day a week, that's going to give it a different kind of feel.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it was day 3 instead of day 5, that would make sense.
Yeah, but then
I don't
you
know
need
why.
someone on day 2 because announcement, teaser, and then testimonial makes no sense because what are they giving a testimonial about when somebody doesn't know what really the program is all about?
And also, why would we have an announcement teaser if we're already opening the doors on day 1?
Very true.
That makes absolutely no sense.
I think it's a reflection, and I don't mean this about everyone, but when I look at this and stuff that I've done in ChatGPT before, it's the very basic, if you get what I mean. It's, oh, do this, do that and stuff. If people can't figure that out for themselves, then should they be launching a course or stuff? Do you know what I mean?
Well, so here's the thing. Launch
like
strategies are complex.
I like it for structures, but it's not giving you all. Is this the free version?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is the free version, and that's going to give us not as good results. But when I asked for a strategy, it didn't give me any recommendations. For example, and we mentioned this, doing a webinar, doing a workshop beforehand. It didn't give me ideas of how I could pull more people in. Like there were a lot of things that we did. We didn't give it in the prompt, but that was the strategy that Yuval and I spoke about when we just started. When you're launching something like this, you don't just want to launch it with emails and social. Like there's more to it than that. You want to pull more people in. You want to expand the circle of who you're reaching. And so if you don't have experience with this or are working with a strategist, there's only so much that ChatGPT is going to be able to give you. Now I can ask it, oh, this is interesting. Would you add any other activities to this launch?
By the way, have you noticed that most of its strategy is based on social media, or the actual beef here is, there you go, webinar or live Q&A session, which is what we did. But it basically based most of the strategy, huge air quotes, on social media, when in fact we know that the reach in inboxes is way better. Way better, and the results are way better for a damn good reason. So why did it focus on mostly on social media? I'm not entirely sure, even though we know that your email list is significantly smaller than your social media following, and still
100%, because if I have 600 people on my list and 14,000 people on social media, but I'm getting like 2,000 impressions because of the algo or whatever, then, I'm reaching a much, the target audience in my email list are people that signed up, they opted in. So I know that they're warm leads. These are people that are the right target audience for me. Whereas people who are connected to me on social media can be connected to me for a wide variation of things, and they might not be at the same stage. Again, segmentation. It's harder to segment. So of the 2,000 people that do see it on the social media, or from, lucky get 5,000 impressions, of those 5,000, how many are actually my target audience? How many are really viewing it? And some of them are just supporting me, not because I'm in a pod, which I'm not, but it's like, I'm friends with her. I want to make her happy. I'll just because, I want to because I support her. Doesn't mean I'm her target audience. Doesn't mean that she's my target audience, So if we do look at this list, so it did offer a webinar, which is great. I had to ask it though. So content marketing, blog posts, interesting, or video posts. But again, when I asked for a strategy, I would have expected it to give me that at the end. Like I wouldn't have had to ask for this. referral program, which we had to a certain degree, email drip campaign, which it theoretically wrote for us, but it's more doing about nurturing. LinkedIn ads, I wouldn't do paid ads, but whatever. Landing page optimization, yes, absolutely. Influencer collaboration, maybe. Follow-up email sequence.
We've
So this
had
is like,
that.
well, yeah, we had that, but this is like personalized follow-up emails to applicants. Da 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 da. We did. Oh yeah, we actually did that.
We did that.
We did exactly that. Yeah. Demo video, we didn't do that. Feedback gathering, we did. Oh, by the way, that was one of the emails that I got the most responses for as well. Except for the one that we sent out this morning, like the regular email. That email of why didn't you sign up, like, or give me feedback, got tons of responses. I'll share that with you later. Press release not happening, and post-launch webinar. That would be interesting.
Huh.
But that again, who's it for? What participants can expect from the program? Yeah, no problem. No, we start the program. I wouldn't, and it did say to analyze the results of each activity, blah, blah, blah. I think bottom line is giving us an interesting, like, again, if we know how to ask the right questions, it will give us interesting ideas. But we already knew where we were going, so we knew what to ask.
They say quite a bit. I think it was Piers Linney, who is like an ex-Dragon's Den. I can't remember what it's called in America, but he was saying that AI is not proper AI at the moment. It's machine learning. So actually, it is like Yuval said, and what you said earlier about you have to feed it, and then it will come back. And if it's machine learning, it's not going to take our jobs or anything. But if Yuval sat there and actually typed up her strategy and put everything in, would AI then learn, would ChatGPT then learn that? And then other people can type in their questions and get that?
To be honest,
yes.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so, because I just wrote this email about us living in an echo chamber of AI and whatnot, and the whole, we've all seen the steal my strategy, steal my hooks, steal my templates, whatever. This is one of the only things, we've shown the strategy in a very small, nutshell. Steal that. Like, if you want a very personalized email experience during a launch, steal that. Honestly, if we would have fed the strategy as is to ChatGPT and someone could learn how to then do a launch strategy that is much more tailored to the customer experience, the inbox experience, the personal intent levels, and how every action is leading to something else, whether it's a nudge email, whether it's sending them out of this launch sequence and into a feedback loop. That is what email marketing needs to be. This is the experience.
I will confess that I may have put a little sequence in with a nudge email in my own personal things after being part of this awesome team lately.
Wonderful.
I would have been disappointed if you hadn't, but that's human nature, because we learn from our experiences. And that's just, I think, the downside where AI is not going to get to it. I don't see Yuval, unless it's an agency that wants ChatGPT to learn so that it can save time for itself. Sure. I don't see you spending all the time investing, writing out, this is what I did, these were the results, this is what I did, this is the sequence. Like, you have to, there's so much, how far back do you have to go? So you have to define the email list, who is on the email list, what is the target audience of the email list, how it's segmented, what possible segments you have, what auto segments you do. You want to go back even further, because we started the strategy months earlier asking questions of self-segmentation, so we would know what to send people afterwards. So again, there's this whole question of, when does the strategy start? Let's go to the welcome email, right? So there's a lot going on here that's way more than just one standalone strategy. I would not invest time putting it into ChatGPT. I applaud anyone who does. Seriously, if they have the time, we all benefit from it. We all benefit from it, but let's put it into place. AI is not taking our place. For the record, this is not really AI, like Haley said. AI is calculating the ground temperature and moisture to see whether we need to add more water or less water, add more seeds or less seeds, or fertilizer or whatever. And it's doing it in real time, not because someone's prompting it to do it.
Yeah.
Well said. Well said.